Welcome back. Haven't done a video in a long time. Thought that I would drop something by. So I want to talk about, because it's been in the orthosphere, kind of in the mindset of what's going on online, this kind of idea of the Father as first, or like a series, right? That the Father is, anterior to the Son. The Father has priority, kind of like an ontological priority. And wrapping this in with the monarchy of the Father, and doing so in kind of an erroneous way. So we're going to look at St Symeon, the new theologian, his first theological discourse. Excuse me. I've been reading both his theological and his ethical discourses, so forgive me. It's his first theological discourse, and it is titled. Let me grab the title here. Against those who ascribe the concept of anteriority to the Father. Okay. So at outset, we can say that, well, he's just talking about a temporal anteriority, right? He's just talking about how the Son isn't temporally second to the Father. And we would all agree, right? We would all agree that not only is the Son not a temporal second to the Father, but that St. Symeon definitely does say this, right? He definitely does say this in his theological discourse, that he's talking about a temporal priority. However, he goes beyond talking about merely a temporal priority and discusses how in no way can we ascribe hierarchy to God. Okay, so it is not just a temporal priority. And I have some very key quotes here for you, which I'll read. If the all-holy Trinity has drawn the universe from non-being always was, is now, and always will be indivisible, then tell me who among you has taught or conceived these measures and degrees within it. The first and second, this greater and lesser. Who has set this out so clearly with regard to the invisible and unknown hypostases, who are absolutely beyond thought and speech? Since they are eternally united and eternally unchanging, they cannot have any priority among themselves. If you want to say that the Father is prior to the Son because the Son is born from him, for this reason is he also greater, then I, for my part, say that the Son is prior to the Father. For if the Son had not been born, then the Father would not have been called Father. If, on the other hand, you place the Father altogether before the Son and categorize him as prior in that he is the cause of the Son's generation, then I also reject that he is the cause of the Son. Okay, this is a very interesting argument that St. Symeon is bringing up. Right? He's saying that if you say that the Father is superior to the Son because he is cause, right? This is actually eunomian, right? That to be cause is to be true God, right? To be unbegotten is true God. Point blank eunomianism, right? So the Father is superior to the Son because he is the cause of the Son. Well, St. Symeon says, be careful, because the Son is the cause of the Father being Father, because without Son, the Father is not a Father. So in a real way, the Son is the cause of the Father being Father. And so in this way, he would have priority, right? We'll move on. We say that the Father is the cause of the birth of the Son in regard to his bodily generation. But as to that divine subsistence which is without subsistence, the birth which is unborn, the substance which is not substance, and the essence beyond all essence, or whatever else there is beyond my intellect, then if anyone talks about a first, he must also refer to a second and a third. So here we have, there can be no series, right? Because if you were to say that the Father is first, then you would say that the Son is second, the Spirit is third, or the Spirit is second, the Son is third, this kind of thing. St. Symeon goes on, this manner of speaking cannot apply in any way to the all-holy Trinity. In any way, okay? This is important. In no way can we apply this to the Trinity. This is why it is not just, oh, he's just speaking about a temporal ontology. I'm sorry, he's just speaking about a temporal hierarchy, but there is another way which we could understand it. No. He says we cannot speak like this in any way about the Holy Trinity. Okay, let me move on. I'll just finish this up here. What a foolish and dangerous undertaking it would be to measure out the immeasurable, or to speak of the ineffable, or to discourse about that which is beyond words. So with regard to the divine ineffable generation of God the Word, we say that the Father is the cause of the Son, just as the mind is of the spoken word, or the spring of the stream, or root of branches, but we do not say that he is prior, as in priority, in case we multiply the number or divide the one indivisible deity into three gods. Okay, and he re-echoes this later. This is St Symeon again. Consider carefully with me the force of these words. He says, I and the Father are one. Why does he name himself before the Father? It is in order to show that he himself is absolutely equal to the Father in dignity and in glory, and that the Father is not first, even though he is the cause of the Son, nor is the Son second, even though he comes from the Father, nor is the Holy Spirit third, even though he proceeds from the Father. If the Trinity is one from the very beginning and is called a Trinity in regard to the persons, then it follows that one cannot in any way be prior either to himself or to the other persons with him. Okay, so again, we see this language. If the Trinity is one from the very beginning and is called a Trinity in regard to the persons, then it follows that one cannot in any way be prior either to himself or to the other persons with him. Okay, this also comes down to the Father as a source of the divinity. We cannot say that he is prior to his own essence. He is not prior to himself. It's madness. I'll continue. The one did not pre-exist the other, so that by virtue of this pre-existence, he is prior to the brightness born from him. There is but one Godhead, one Trinity, and as I have said, it is called such with regard to the persons and hypostases. But because it is divided without division and united without confusion, God is called a single Trinity. Not one of the persons has ever pre-existed the others, so that the one becomes prior to another. Not the Father in relation to the Son, nor the Son to the Father, nor both of them in relation to the Spirit. They have a simultaneous beginning, which is co-eternal and without origin. This is why the Minean, I think I posted this on Facebook a few days ago, on October 12th, which was just a Sunday ago on the old calendar, says that Christ shone forth unoriginately from the Father, right? All the persons are unoriginate. Okay, so again, there is no way in which there is hierarchy in God. Okay, so there is obviously no temporal causality, no temporal hierarchy, but there is in no way can we speak of a hierarchy or causality like this, as one being prior, as one having priority, right? As one being first. We cannot speak this way in any way about the Trinity. Okay, we have to be very, very careful. He has an interesting idea here where he brings up later. He says, St. John the theologian, now this is talking about in his gospel account, says, in the beginning was the Word, not in the beginning was the Father. Okay. So if the Father was really first, if the Father was really true God, right, as some say, why does the Gospel of John not say in the beginning was the Father? Why do we say in the liturgy that they are one in essence? Not why don't we say they are one in Father? Right? Because there's no hierarchy. Okay, there's no priority. There's in the actual theology of the Church. So, I mean, St. Symeon, and I'll go over this later in a different video in Discourse 2 and Discourse 3, he talks about making erroneous extrapolations from that which has been revealed. Right. So to say, a great example is to say, will the Father say that the Father is the cause of the Son? And then, okay, so that is a true statement. But to then say the Father is true God and the Son is only God, or the Father is deity and the Son is only divine, or the Father is autotheos and the Son is not, or only the Father is unoriginate and the Son is not, that is all wrong. That is all wrong. Okay, you are extrapolating erroneous positions from what is revealed, and St. Symeon actually goes into this. He goes because this was happening during his own time, right? So, and that happens in Discourse 2 and Discourse 3. Okay, so let me wrap this up by just pointing out also within this paper, St. Symeon does say, in this Trinity, which is without any division or confusion, one cannot conceive or speak about a first, a second, or a third, or about a great or a small. And again, we've gone over how that is not just temporal, but in any way can we not talk about that. It is absolutely impossible to speak or express or even conceive the properties of a divine nature, which is above and beyond all existence. Okay, so that St. Symeon throwing down on divine simplicity. Okay, so really what he's saying is that there are distinctions in God, right? The Father is unbegotten, the Son is begotten, the Spirit proceeds. Okay, but we know that those distinctions exist. We know that there is an essence and energy distinction. Okay, but we cannot extrapolate logical positions from that, right? We cannot mentally contemplate what it is to be begotten. We cannot mentally contemplate what it is to proceed or to spirate. Okay, we cannot mentally contemplate what it is to be unbegotten. We cannot mentally contemplate what it is to be unoriginate. Okay, we cannot extrapolate logical positions from that which is revealed. Okay, so we have to be very, 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 very careful when we approach the fathers, when we read their writings, to just take what they say and not move off into things that they did not say. Okay, so St. Symeon, new theologian, first theological discourse. We cannot in any way talk about a hierarchy or priority in the Godhead. Okay, not the Father is first, or the Father is true God, or the Son is second, or lesser, or any of these things. Cannot do that whatsoever. So, thank you very much. God bless.